Welcome to this night of poetry and remembrance. I am Susanna Rich. As the Holocaust survivors pass away, it is more and more crucial that we, as the next generation and the following generations, take up the torch of remembrance and liberty. We are always, always in danger. Genocides of the 20th century were awful. We had the Armenians, the crimes of the American Ku Klux Klan. We had Nagasaki and Hiroshima. It doesn't matter which side you're on, you believe you're doing right. Terror and the causing of terror is terror. We have the Holocaust, we have Rwanda, we have Bosnia, and right on into this century. It is everywhere. Our title is Ashes, Ashes, and it comes from a children's jingle developed during the Black Plague. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. When one of us suffers, we all do. Wars and terror affect us all. I'm glad that we are so close to Passover. It is the Jewish holiday celebrating the release from bondage and slavery in Egypt. And there's a beautiful refrain, a musical refrain in there. Ma nishtanu halaylo hazeh mikol halaylot. Why is this night different from every other night? What makes this night of remembrance different from many other nights is that we are going to journey through poetry. And why poetry? John F. Kennedy said it so well. When politics corrupts, poetry cleanses. And it's an unfortunate truth that tyrants usually kill the poets first. And so tonight, we will discover that the political is personal. Ever since I portrayed Anne Frank in my Popius 12 senior class play, I have been moving from the narrow places of separation to the promised land of love. My first poem is addressed to my husband, and it is called Passover. My father wouldn't lead me down the aisle. You are a Jew, and hadn't asked him cognac to cognac for my hand. Good Catholic Hungarian girls marry royal Austro-Hungarian Empire types and have children to speak Hungarian for grandfather's dollars. For years, decades, he came to brag to us about the war and of ministering to German soldiers and of the chocolates, gilets, and stockings he gave their wives. He brought wine from Polish vineyards, fertilized with human ashes. A sympathetic magic I couldn't drink. Don't let them lie to you. He spoke like a spell over my Holocaust books. Good people die, Catholic priest, Jews, Jewish banker, Jewish doctor, Jewish controller. The media, I asked him not to. Robbed of the word Jewish, he can't speak. He holds vigil by our bedroom window, his eye filling the pain like frost, assuring himself no children will mix his blood with the Jews. In spring, I buy flowered Seder plates from Bed Bath & Beyond, a saffron-colored tablecloth, and a 5-finger vase. I bury our pots in the garden, as your mother once did, to purify them, so we can all eat. Die, die, enu. Die, die, enu. Die, enu. Die, enu. Die, die, enu. Another beautiful musical refrain sung during the Passover feast, the Seder. It means it would have been enough. To eat together is to celebrate our common humanity. The word companion comes from bread together. Poet William Butler Yeats says, "Poetry is the fountain jetting from all the hopes, memories, and sensations of the body." And so what poetry does is it literally brings us back to our senses. How can I have anything but empathy for someone else if I know that they are hungry as I'm hungry, that they thirst as I thirst? When ideologies take over and this common humanity drops away is when the atrocities begin. The next poem explores this dynamic. Holocaust survivor Arthur Schwartz told the story of the mass grave that he was forced to dig, and the little girl who was standing at the edge of the ditch in a little white coat. Her turn. Little girl, white hooded coat, stands at the edge of the shovel-clanked ditch. She is thirsty and asks the man, rising black against the gray milk sky, for water. Wasser, bitte. Wasser. The sound of the word ripples through his leather sash, through the worry of wool, to the skin below that divines this Wasser. And the heart beneath, grateful for each return of blood, concurs, as does the altar boy in him who wept for the vinegar lips of his marble god, as does this father who quenches the night pleas of his children for Wasser. Papa, Papa, Wasser. His sudden notice, his not saying no. Wasser, bitte, she says in her prettiest please. She said it again. She said it again, this little Sarah, this furry thing striking the small stone against the great monument of him. He makes a circle with his hand and smiles. Turn around, he says in his most hide-and-seek, his most here-it-comes voice. And she curtsies. The price of the water to come. And she turns, and he aims and thrills to the shudder of her falling away from his bright boots. He presses his heart down into its blood pool and turns from the echo, welling from the ditch. Papa! Helen Epstein, survivor, spoke about how the Nazis were absolutely devoted to precision and to their numbers. If they had killed 923 people in a day, they would go, let's say, to an orphanage and find 77 children, as perhaps in this case, to kill, so that at the end of the day they could record a very neat 1, 0, 0, 0 into their ledger. The Nazis stole the integrity of their victims. They stole their hair. They stole their names and gave them numbers on their arm. Poetry. Poetry brings us back to the experience of the individual. The next poem reminds me of a passage from the book of Daniel, chapter 5, verse 25 to 28. Numbered, numbered, weighed, divided. Always, always the waiting in line. Always the counting, the counting, the counting, as if we were beads, as if we were coins, as if we were notches in their belts. Always their numbers, always dividing to countable things, pyramids of shoes, pyramids of watches, pyramids of scalpels of hair. Always, always the waiting. Always the fear of becoming one. One of two to be shot, one alone by the fence, one to go or stay behind. And now still their lines, now still their numbers. The 10,000 Auschwitz cremations a day, the 11 million dead, the $80 billion in reparations, my arm, the numbers on my arm, the figures numbing my arm, as if one were not enough, as if counting makes a difference. We're not immune from being numbers jockeys. The news media encourages this. Today, 57 Afghanis died, 2 Americans. As if we were playing golf and we came in under par and somehow we're more successful because only 2 died and 57 of theirs died. But that's 59 people. 59 people who know hunger the way I know hunger, who know desire, who have mothers and children and lovers. Susan Sontag writes about the pain of others. And she tells us of another dynamic. It's called in German Schadenfreude. And it means relief, even joy in the pain of others. There he goes vanquished, here I am safe. That person is having trouble, I'm fine. And so we buy into that also. The news media needs to sell sports and Jeeps and Broadway shows, so they're not going to make things real for us. It's in a safe little box. We can turn it off. And so we develop news head, poetry wakes us up. And so here's an infomercial to give an upside to news head. Adopt a corpse. Is your life a sham? Wow. Do you want to clean up your conscience? Then adopt a corpse. Take this child, torched into a crawl-away pose. Or this man, his face clearing under a cinder block wall, his body on the other side dissolved to a nuclear ooze. Someone is waiting for you. Jaw dropped, lips curled back, chanting maggots and worms. Mighty putty, your corpse to the lower left of your dreams to caption your acquisitions and lusts. Warning, you might get depressed, your heart might fail, your pressure go up, you might fail, you might die, but it will need no pajamas, no glasses of milk, no sunny sides up. Only let it lose its life more fully in yours. Hurry, while supplies last, call toll free. Choose before you are. Kaboom! Hatred. Hatred is a failure of imagination. And poetry, well, I'm thinking of Moira Bayless's new poetry collection. It's called The Antidote to Prejudice. And that's what poetry is. It invites us through imagination to identify, become one with each individual out there, not just these numbers of deaths. When I first started to write these poems, I asked myself a question that poets often ask. What would I feel like if? And in this case, I asked myself the question, what would I feel like if I was being forced to take off all of my clothing in front of hostile, leering strangers that I was afraid were going to kill me? The question was shattering. Only recently did I realize that I had not gone far enough with the poem. The epigraph for this poem is from Proverbs 31. Strength and honor are her clothing. She slips off the cradle of her shoe, and her foot evaporates, rises like candle smoke into her leg, and the memory, the felt memory of this foot flows like river clay into the mold of air the foot left behind. I balance on this foot that seems as though it is my foot. And this shoe, its patient love, absorbs me into its soul and takes me with it, as it has and has. I unroll my stocking, and my leg fades like mist into my other leg to murmur gratitudes for a lifetime of symmetries. and with this stocking. My legs vanish both into my belly. My skirt, my blouse, pool warm on the floor, and my delicate things fall like petals away. No body is where a body seems to be. Thighs, a triangle of hair, pale breasts are only magic, only mirrors. No arms need hide what needs no hiding. From the black boots, rising into creased uniforms, into masks, peering down from there, emptiness. It's too hard to go into certain experiences. There are Holocaust survivors, and I don't know how they do it, who year after year take the heart to tell us their stories. There are other survivors, and I understand it fully.